Want to know how to fight a brutal campaign of sky strikes and ferocious close combat? It may not be as glamorous as carving a traitor in half with a power sword, but army composition is half the battle when it comes to winning games of Legions Imperialis. Come along with me as I explore the tactics of the 9th Legion, my first ever game of Legions Imperialis, and how I plan on expanding the army to crush all before me. For the Emperor! Armed with a freshly painted army of teeny tiny Marines, I was keen to get a game in as soon as possible, and my mate Alex was more than happy to oblige with his salamanders. But I was faced with a challenge. How do you actually build an army in Legions Imperialis? The first part of army composition is formation selection. The main rules contains 4 different formations you can use to create your force. The easiest to craft using the models from the starter box is the Legion Demi-Company, with 1 HQ, 1 support, and 2 core detachments. Your HQ has to be a Legion command squad at this point, as it's so far the only option available to the Adeptus Astartes, and the core units are stated as having to be tactical squads as per the Heart of the Legion rule. So the only choice that's left is what support you're going to run, but actually that choice is already made for you as well, as there's only 1 full support choice in the box, which is the squad of 4 Contemptors. Quick note here on naming, as it took quite a while for me to get this into my head. In games like Warhammer 40,000, a model refers to a single miniature on a base. However, because they're so small in Legions Imperialis, what you're normally referring to as a model or a base of minis is 5 or maybe even more miniatures. While the term model does exist inside of Legions Imperialis, much more common is referring to detachments. This is basically a squad. For example, for this tactical detachment, it contains 4 bases of miniatures. The size of the detachment is shown on the unit card. It's best not to think about the number of figures on the base, as it doesn't really play any role in gameplay, so instead think about the number of bases and then how many of those bases are in your detachments. Various detachments make up formations, and various formations make up your whole army. Okay, so with the terminology sorted and the foundations of my first Legion Demi-Company established, now things get a little bit spicy with the addition of optional detachments. The one that caught my eye was the Air Support Detachment. The Blood Angels are well known for their aerial assaults, and supporting my troops on the ground with some aircraft screaming across the skies seemed thematically perfect. In even better news, I actually already own some flyers from my time playing Aeronautica Imperialis. In this aerial support detachment, I'm going to be taking 4 Xiphon interceptors to lay down some punishing fire with their las cannons and rotary missile launchers. It's missiles that, lots of them rotating, like a missile Gatling gun. Sick. Now in addition, I also added another optional detachment here, which was a detachment of battle tanks, my Sicarans with their giant plasma cannons. A bit of added oomph. So here is my Legion Demi-Company. From the core box, this is actually the only legal Demi-Company that I could work out how to make. Editor Ollie here, you may have spotted that there was a small mistake there. I actually only had 4 bases of Legion Tactical Marines. There should have been 8 because you require 2 core detachments, and the detachment size is 4 bases. For this first game, I threw everything else I had into a second, slightly illegal formation. This has got all the rest: Legion Command Squad, tactical squads with added plasma and missiles, Predator tanks, and then a Thunderhawk with some Assault Marines, and the Terminators for deep striking. At this point in army construction, I came across the rules in the rulebook that are going to shape how I build my army going forward. But first, some big, stompy robots. That's right, I'm running Blood Angels, but would this truly be a Horus Heresy army if it wasn't supported by a god machine of the Emperor himself? In this case, a Warhound Titan. I started painting him on my live stream, which you can check out every Tuesday at 7:30 PM GMT. There's a really amazing group of hobbyists who chat, chill, and occasionally laugh at my terrible jokes. That's how we do here on Hobby with Ollie. Take everything you know about painting and throw it away. We won't be needing it here. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, why not check it out? Armed with Shudder and Swarmer missiles and pointed up into the sky in a very dramatic pose. I absolutely love this guy. Meg did a really great job building him in the last video all about building up the box. He's also got a 2+ save and void shields that are effectively like ablative damage that comes back every single turn. I'm really excited to get him to dole out some punishment on the table. On the painting, it was a real joy to do. There's still a few more details that I have to go through to get him finished, but I started off with the main armor color, making use of a lot of stippling. This is effectively just dry brushing on flat surfaces, where you wipe most of the paint off the brush and then stipple lighter colors to show a sort of gradient of the light. Now, because I was doing it on stream, I couldn't use the airbrush, so this was a nice compromise, I think, and it was really nice to get some new techniques in. And in the blink of an eye, it's now time for the day of revelation for Alex and his salamanders. Oh, did I mention that he also runs Twisted Prints, an Etsy store for 3D printing all things Warhammer related? I'll pop a link to that in the description down below, but Alex does really amazing stuff, so go and check him out. In a humorous twist of fate, Alex had actually suffered a power cut on the day that we were meant to be having our battle. With enough candles to light a shrine to the Emperor and a torch hanging from the light fittings, absolutely nothing was going to stop us from engaging in teeny-tiny, glorious warfare. The power cut did stop me from taking as much footage as I wanted, as I was a little bit worried about my phone running out of battery. I'll run you through some of my favourite units and successes from the game. First off, the Titan. His Shudder missiles have the Quake special rule, which means that any unit hit by them has its movement characteristic halved, and also gets a -1 penalty for shooting for the rest of that turn. It's really very powerful, and I kept Alex's Kratos squadron at bay for a significant period of the game. He also looks super cool in flickering candlelight, so let me know what I should name him in the comments down below. Real MVP though has to go to the Thunderhawk. While I only had a single detachment of Assault Marines embarked on there, they managed to make a real impact up the center of the board. And this is where the Blood Angels special rule in Carmine Fury was absolutely game-breakingly good. They undertook an insane dive bomb suicide mission right into the heart of Alex's army, and managed to take out a significant number of the Salamander's infantry squads. Eventually though, the numbers proved too much, and they were cut down themselves. Now, Sanguinius would have been proud of the efforts of the Assault Marines, but unfortunately not of the game itself, as we did lose significantly and I had to concede on turn 3. We made a big impact with the Flyers and the Assault Marines on turn 1 and 2, but once they were gone, I kind of petered out and I didn't have any firepower in the backfield. So where to next? Well, I have an idea. An aerial assault detachment. Thunderhawks full of Assault Marines that are going to scream into the center field and take any and all required objectives. Their jump packs are also going to let them charge fortifications, which seem to be a really powerful part of the game, which I'm not really used to from things like 40k. And then using the Carmine Fury rule to continue the charge and keep pushing on through into enemy territory. I can see Sanguinius welling up with pride at the mere thought. In case you haven't noticed, I'm pretty excited to play Legions again, and if you haven't had the chance to yet, I highly recommend you do so. And maybe you can even drop a message in the Discord server, link below, and see if there's anyone in your local area who might want to give you a game. Worth a shot. Either way, the Discord is a great place to go for all things hobby. It's the same general motley crew as you'll see on the live streams who are in there, and everyone's always sharing their progress, which is so nice to see. It's nice to have this be a two-way street in terms of hobbying. Be sure to check out the description as well. Twisted Prints, my Element Games affiliate links, all the other general YouTubey stuff. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching. And in the meantime, my name has been Ollie. This has been my hobby, and I'll see you next time.